Welcome back, everyone. Today we're taking a deep dive into the world of gentle yoga, specifically designed for those over 60.
Sounds interesting.
We've got this fascinating article here from Life After 60, and it's packed with tips and modifications to make yoga accessible for everyone.
Oh yeah, I saw that one. It's really great. And even if you're not quite in that age group yet, there's a lot to learn about adapting yoga to fit your needs.
Exactly. It's all about honoring your body and finding what feels good. So before we jump into the poses, there are a few important things the article emphasizes.
Okay, like what?
Well, first things first, check with your doctor before starting any new exercise routine.
Right. Always a good idea. Especially if you have any pre-existing conditions.
Absolutely. Safety first. They also mention having a non-slip mat and a clear space, plus a sturdy chair or a wall nearby for support.
Makes sense.
And comfortable clothes are a must, of course.
No judgment on those 80s yoga pants.
Definitely not. All right, so let's get into the poses. The first one is mountain pose, or Tadasana in Sanskrit.
Okay, I'm familiar with that one.
I have to admit, I was a bit surprised that just standing is considered a yoga pose.
I know, right? It seems so basic. But mountain pose is like the foundation of good posture. It's about grounding and stability.
So how do we stand like a mountain?
Imagine roots growing down from your feet, anchoring you to the earth. Stand with your feet hip-width apart. Engage your thigh muscles just slightly, but keep your knees soft.
Okay, got it.
Relax your arms at your sides. Let your shoulders drop away from your ears.
Yeah, I tend to hold tension in my shoulders.
We all do. Now gently roll those shoulders back and keep your chin parallel to the floor, gazing straight ahead.
So it's about lengthening the spine.
Exactly. Hold this for 30 to 60 seconds, just breathing naturally.
Sounds easy enough, but what if standing for that long is a challenge?
No problem. That's where modifications come in. The article suggests standing behind a chair with your hands lightly resting on the back for support.
Ah, that makes sense. So it's not just about standing still, it's about body awareness.
Precisely. It's about tuning into those subtle sensations, feeling the weight distribution in your feet, noticing if your shoulders are creeping up, engaging those core muscles.
It's like a full body scan, even though it looks simple.
Exactly. And that awareness carries over into other poses and even everyday activities.
Up next is the seated cat-cow stretch.
Oh, I love this one.
This sounds like a gentle way to wake up the spine, especially first thing in the morning.
Absolutely. It's great for mobilizing the spine and easing any stiffness you might have.
Okay, so how do we do this cat-cow transformation?
You'll start seated in a chair towards the front edge with your feet flat on the floor.
Okay.
Rest your hands on your knees. Now, as you inhale, picture that cow, all relaxed and content, and gently arch your back, lifting your chest and looking slightly upward. Then as you exhale, round your spine like a stretching cat, tucking your chin towards your chest.
I can picture that.
Repeat this flow 5 to 8 times, moving slowly and coordinating your movements with your breath.
I can already feel my spine loosening up just thinking about it. Now the next pose, chair forward bend, sounds incredibly relaxing.
It is. It's a gentle way to stretch the back of your legs and your spine.
But what if you have tight hamstrings?
That's where listening to your body is key. You're not aiming to touch your toes here.
Yeah.
Just go as far as comfortable.
So walk us through this bend, maybe with a tight hamstring-friendly approach.
You'll start seated, just like in the cat-cow, with your feet flat on the floor.
Okay, and then now.
Hinge forward from your hips, letting your chest move towards your legs. Don't worry about getting your chest all the way to your legs. Let your hands rest on your thighs or dangle toward the floor.
So far, so good.
And if your hamstrings are feeling tight, just bend your knees slightly.
That makes sense.
Hold the pose for 3 to 5 breaths, letting your back lengthen with each exhale.
So no need to force it, just ease into the stretch.
Exactly. It's about honoring your body's limits. Now, let's move on to the seated twist.
I've noticed twists are pretty popular in various workouts lately. What's the deal with all this twisting?
Twists are great for maintaining spinal mobility.
Which is super important as we age, right?
Yes, absolutely. They can also help with digestion.
Really? How does that work?
Well, when you twist, you're gently compressing and massaging your internal organs, which can help stimulate digestion. It's like a gentle internal massage.
Wow, I had no idea. Okay, let's get twisting.
For this one, you're going to sit sideways in your chair with both feet flat on the floor. Grab the back of the chair with both hands.
I got it.
Now, slowly turn your upper body towards the back of the chair, keeping your spine long and your shoulders relaxed. Hold for 3 to 5 breaths, then unwind and repeat on the other side.
Simple but effective. I like it.
Exactly. Next up, we have tree pose with support.
Tree pose. I'm not sure how tree-like I'll feel doing this.
You might be surprised. It's a great pose for balance, concentration, and strengthening those leg muscles.
Well, I could definitely use some help with balance. I'm more of a klutz than a graceful dancer.
We'll get you balanced in no time. Start by standing behind your trusty chair, holding onto the back for support.
Okay, standing behind the chair.
Now, shift your weight onto your right foot and gently place your left foot against your right ankle or calf.
Ankle or calf, got it.
Important note, never place your foot directly on your knee.
Noted. No knee pressure.
Find your balance, hold for 3 to 5 breaths, then switch legs.
What if balancing on one leg feels impossible?
You can always modify. Keep that raised foot lightly touching the floor for added stability.
So there's always a way to make it work.
Always. It's about finding what feels good and challenging for you. And that brings us to legs up the wall.
Ah, this one sounds right up my alley, especially after a long day.
It's incredibly restorative. It helps reduce swelling in the legs and feet, promotes relaxation, and just calms the nervous system.
Okay, I'm sold. How do we get our legs up that wall?
All you need is a wall and your mat. Place your mat perpendicular to the wall, sit sideways close to the wall, then lie back and swing your legs up, using your hands for support. You can scoot your bottom closer to the wall if you need to.
Okay, got it.
Now, just relax and hold the pose for 3 to 5 minutes, breathing deeply and letting your body melt into the pose. A pillow under your head or lower back can add extra comfort.
This sounds amazing. I think I'm going to have to try that one tonight. But before we all drift off to dreamland, let's talk about safety tips.
Yes, very important. Even though these are gentle poses, safety always comes first.
So what are the most important things to keep in mind?
First and foremost, never force yourself into a pose or stretch beyond what feels comfortable.
It's not a competition, right?
Exactly. Yoga isn't about pushing through pain, it's about finding that sweet spot between challenge and ease. If you feel any sharp pain, stop immediately. Discomfort is one thing, pain is a completely different story.
So, listen to our bodies.
Yes, your body will tell you what it needs.
And what about breathing?
Steady breathing is key throughout each pose. If you find yourself holding your breath, ease up a bit.
So breath is our guide.
Exactly. It can tell you a lot about what your body is experiencing.
Any tips for making this a regular practice? I know consistency is important, but it can be a challenge to stick with something new.
You're right about that. The article suggests finding a time of day that works for you and sticking with it as much as possible.
Like making it part of your routine.
Exactly. It could be first thing in the morning, during your lunch break, or before bed. Whatever works best for you.
Okay, that's a good tip. And what about the length of practice? Should I aim for an hour right off the bat?
Start small. Even 10 to 15 minutes a day is a great starting point. Then gradually increase the duration as you feel stronger and more comfortable.
So it's about progress, not perfection.
Precisely. There's no need to rush. It's a journey, not a race.
I like that. And speaking of journeys, the article mentions staying hydrated. That seems pretty straightforward, but is there anything specific we need to know about hydration and yoga?
It's always a good idea to have water nearby and sip it throughout your practice. Dehydration can lead to fatigue and muscle cramps, so make sure you're well hydrated before, during, and after your session.
Great advice. Now, on to the good stuff. The benefits of gentle yoga. I'm already feeling more relaxed and energized just talking about it.
And that's just the beginning. The benefits extend far beyond the physical, though those are amazing too.
Okay, I'm all ears. What kind of benefits can we expect?
Well, first off, flexibility and joint mobility.
Yeah, I could definitely use a bit more of that. I'm feeling a bit stiff after sitting at my desk all day.
I hear you. Regular gentle yoga practice can do wonders for increasing your flexibility and range of motion.
So everyday movements become easier and more enjoyable.
Exactly. And then there's balance.
Yeah, yes. I'm always a bit worried about taking a tumble.
As we age, our balance naturally declines. But gentle yoga can help improve that. It incorporates poses that specifically target balance and coordination, helping you feel steadier on your feet and less prone to falls.
That peace of mind is priceless. I don't want to be afraid to move around my own home.
I totally agree. And what about strength?
I always thought yoga was mainly about stretching.
Well, stretching is a key component. Many yoga poses, even the gentle ones, help build strength, especially core strength.
So we're working those muscles without lifting heavy weights.
Exactly. A strong core is essential for good posture, balance, and overall functional fitness.
And what about mental and emotional benefits? The article mentions stress reduction, which I can definitely see being a huge benefit.
You're right, stress reduction is a major plus. Gentle yoga is like a moving meditation.
Ah, that makes sense.
The combination of deep breathing, mindful movement, and relaxation techniques can calm the nervous system and reduce anxiety.
It's like a reset button for the mind and body.
Exactly. And I've also heard that yoga can help with sleep.
Oh, tell me more about that. I could definitely use a good night's sleep.
A lot of people find that doing some gentle yoga before bed helps them fall asleep faster and sleep more soundly.
So it's like a natural sleep aid.
It can be. And finally, there's the benefit of maintaining independence.
Okay, that one intrigues me. What does that mean in the context of gentle yoga?
It's about being able to do the things you love and need to do on your own terms without assistance.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Gentle yoga helps with that by improving strength, balance, flexibility, and overall well-being, so you can stay active and engaged in life.
It's like yoga is empowering us to age gracefully and on our own terms.
Precisely. And the article really stresses that yoga is a journey, not a competition.
I love that message. It's so easy to get caught up in comparison and self-criticism.
I know, especially in the world of fitness. But gentle yoga is about self-kindness, honoring your body, and celebrating your progress. There's no need to compare yourself to others or strive for some unattainable ideal.
Well said. So we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive so far. The benefits, some basic poses, the importance of safety and modifications. Before we wrap up part one, I just wanted to share something that really stood out to me.
I'd love to hear it. What resonated with you?
It's the accessibility of gentle yoga. It's not just for those who are already flexible or have years of yoga experience. It's about adapting the practice to fit individual needs and abilities.
It's so true.
And I love how it can be incorporated into everyday life. I'm actually thinking about trying some of these poses later today.
That's wonderful. It's never too late to start. And the benefits are just so compelling. Who wouldn't want improved flexibility, better balance, reduced stress, and a good night's sleep?
Exactly. It's all about empowering ourselves to live healthier, happier, and more fulfilling lives. And speaking of empowerment, what advice would you give to our listeners who might be feeling inspired to try gentle yoga but aren't sure where to start?
Well, you mentioned in your intake form that you had some concerns about exercising now that you're over 60. I think a lot of people in that age group share those concerns. What do you think are some of the biggest challenges people face when it comes to exercise as they get older?
That's a great question. I think one of the biggest hurdles is just the fear of getting injured or overdoing it. You know, our bodies don't bounce back as quickly as they used to.
That's so true. And it's a valid concern. Gentle yoga addresses that by offering a way to move that's both safe and effective.
I imagine flexibility is another challenge. Like, I can't even touch my toes anymore.
I hear you. It's common to experience decreased flexibility and joint mobility as we age, but gentle yoga is all about gradually improving that range of motion.
So it's not about pushing yourself to the limit.
Not at all. It's about working with your body, respecting its limits, and moving in a way that feels good.
I like that approach. What else do you think people struggle with?
Balance is a big one. As we get older, our balance can decline, which can lead to a fear of falling.
Yeah, that's a scary thought.
It is. And it can really limit your freedom and independence. But gentle yoga helps improve balance and coordination, making you feel steadier and more confident on your feet.
So it's like a 2-for-1. We get stronger and more balanced.
Exactly. And another common issue is chronic pain, whether it's from arthritis, past injuries, or just the wear and tear of life.
Oh yeah, I know all about that.
Gentle yoga can be incredibly helpful in managing pain. The stretching and strengthening can help alleviate stiffness, increase circulation, and release those feel-good endorphins.
It sounds like gentle yoga really addresses those specific challenges that come with aging. It's almost like it was designed for it.
In a way, it was. The principles of yoga can be adapted to benefit people of all ages and abilities, but gentle yoga is especially well suited for those who are looking for a safe and effective way to stay active as they get older.
And it seems like there's a strong emphasis on self-care and self-compassion too, which is so important.
You're absolutely right. Gentle yoga encourages a kind and gentle approach to movement. There's no judgment, no pressure to achieve some kind of ideal pose. It's about honoring where your body is at today.
I think that's really appealing to people who might be intimidated by the more vigorous forms of yoga.
Definitely. A lot of people have this image of yoga being all about contorting yourself into pretzels.
And that's just not realistic for most people.
Exactly. But gentle yoga is about finding ease and comfort in the poses. even if they're modified. It's about moving your body in a way that feels good.
It's like reclaiming your body and how you move. It's not about keeping up with the Joneses or achieving some external standard.
It's about listening to your inner wisdom and moving in a way that nourishes your body and soul. And speaking of nourishing,
The mental and emotional benefits can't be overstated.
absolutely. Yoga is a holistic practice, and that means it addresses the whole person, body, mind, and spirit.
Right. So we're not just working on flexibility and strength, we're also cultivating inner peace and well-being.
Exactly. The deep breathing and mindful movement can have a profoundly calming effect on the nervous system, reducing stress, easing anxiety, and promoting a sense of overall well-being.
It's like a moving meditation, helping us find stillness amidst the chaos of daily life.
Exactly. And that feeling of calm and centeredness can spill over into other areas of your life as well. Your relationships, your work, your overall outlook. It can really create a positive ripple effect.
It sounds like gentle yoga could actually play a role in addressing some of the challenges we face as a society, especially when it comes to aging.
That's a really interesting point. As our population continues to age, we need to find ways to support healthy aging and help people live longer, healthier, and more fulfilling lives.
Right. We can't just focus on extending lifespan. We need to focus on health span, those years where we're not just alive, but thriving.
Exactly. And I think gentle yoga can play a significant role in that.
I'm picturing a future where gentle yoga is readily available in communities.
Me too. I see it as a key component of a more age-friendly world, where people are empowered to stay active, engaged, and independent for as long as possible.
And by promoting physical and mental well-being, we could potentially reduce healthcare costs and improve overall quality of life.
It's a win-win situation. By focusing on preventative measures like gentle yoga, we can support individual well-being while also creating a more sustainable healthcare system.
Now, that brings up an important question. How do we make gentle yoga more accessible to more people, especially those who might not have the resources to attend classes?
You've hit on a crucial point. One solution is to offer more affordable, community-based programs.
Like maybe partnering with senior centers or community centers?
Exactly. Make it readily available in places where older adults already gather. And we could also leverage technology to reach a wider audience.
Oh, good point. Like online classes or apps?
Exactly. There are already a lot of great resources available online, and that could really open up the practice to those who might not be able to leave their homes or who prefer to practice on their own.
That's a fantastic idea. Imagine being able to practice yoga in your living room, at your own pace, with modifications that perfectly suit your needs.
And with the guidance of a qualified instructor, even virtually, you can ensure you're practicing safely and effectively.
This deep dive has really opened my eyes to the incredible potential of gentle yoga.
Mine too. It's not just a series of poses. It's a holistic practice that can transform lives.
It reminds us that movement is medicine and that it's never too late to start nourishing our bodies and minds.
And it underscores the importance of creating a society that supports healthy aging and empowers people to live their lives to the fullest.
So well said. And on that note, let's move on to part 3 of our deep dive. You mentioned earlier that you were a bit of a klutz and felt intimidated by yoga. I think a lot of people feel that way, regardless of their age.
You're right, and it's a shame because yoga has so much to offer. What's great about gentle yoga, though, is that it takes away that intimidation factor. You don't need to be super flexible or athletic to benefit.
It's like saying, come as you are, we'll meet you where you're at.
Exactly. Gentle yoga challenges the notion that you have to be young and bendy to participate. It celebrates movement in all its forms and for all people.
So for those listening who are feeling inspired to give it a try, what would be your top tip for getting started?
That's a good one. I'd say first and foremost, listen to your body. Start with just a few minutes each day, maybe even just one pose, and gradually increase the duration as you build strength and flexibility. Don't push yourself too hard, especially in the beginning.
And remember those modifications we talked about? A chair, a wall, a pillow. Those are all tools to make the practice work for you.
Exactly. Modifications aren't cheating, they're a sign of self-awareness. And they make the practice accessible and enjoyable for everyone.
What about finding the right resources? Where should people go to learn more?
If you're new to yoga, I highly recommend finding a qualified instructor who specializes in gentle yoga or yoga for seniors. They can guide you safely and effectively, especially if you have any health concerns.
And there are tons of online resources these days too, right?
Oh, absolutely. There are websites, apps, and videos galore. You can find guided gentle yoga sessions that you can do at home on your own schedule. It's incredibly convenient.
So many options. No matter your preference or comfort level, there's a way to explore this practice and discover the benefits for yourself.
Exactly. And like we talked about earlier, consistency is key. Even a few minutes of gentle yoga each day can have a positive impact on your overall well-being.
It's like anything else. The more you do it, the more natural and enjoyable it becomes. And the benefits, from increased flexibility to reduced stress, are just so worth it.
It's a gift you give yourself, a way to nurture your body, mind, and spirit. And the best part is, it's a gift that keeps on giving.
That's a beautiful way to put it. Well, this deep dive into the world of gentle yoga has been incredibly inspiring. It's so encouraging to know that it's never too late to start moving our bodies in ways that feel good, and that there's a practice out there that's gentle, effective, and accessible to everyone.
I couldn't agree more. It's been a pleasure diving deep with you and exploring this topic.
Likewise. And to our listeners, we encourage you to keep exploring, keep moving, and keep diving deep into the things that bring you joy and well-being. Until next time, take care.